to heal the soul, healing for our souls. So I had an abortion, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, I had two and a miscarriage. And the miscarriage was related to my abortion. And I just want to tell you, I've never said this one before because I hadn't thought about it, but as Georgette and Father Frank were just speaking, and as I was looking at all my dear friends, Arnold and Peggy, and saw Olympia a little while ago, several of us who worked together, Operation Outcry, my testimony is in that amicus brief. I know you all remember that. But as I was thinking about that, what does abortion do to the civil rights of a woman? Because we're all entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Abortion takes away our pursuit of happiness. How do I know? This is kind of hard for me. Georgette asked me was I all right, and I'm all right because Jesus is Lord. Amen. But this is a very difficult thing to do, and you would think after you do it a few times it gets easier. The only thing that makes it easy is to see your faces and to join you in prayer to give me the strength to do this. I got married in 1969, 1 year after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. My father, his brother, continued to work with Dr. Abernathy, leading that movement. The next year I got married. 1 week after I got married, my father was also killed. But in the middle of all of that, on our honeymoon, we had conceived our first child, and that was very, very joyous. What I didn't know, the doctor that delivered that first baby was a pro-abortion doctor. Of course, that wasn't advertised at the time because in 1969, abortion was not legal. And at that time, they gave us a process called a DNC. So you could go to the doctor with a stomach ache and come back without a baby. I didn't ask to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I went to the doctor after my firstborn baby, and I said, "Doctor, I need a checkup. What's happening with my body?" So that pro-abortion doctor, who I had to forgive through Silent No More Awareness campaign in Rachel's Vineyard, looked at me and said, "You don't need another baby. Let's see." He didn't tell me I was pregnant. He just said, "You don't need another baby. Let's see," and did an involuntary DNC in his office. Very painful procedure. But that was my first abortion, my friends, and I already had my firstborn baby. He also said, "You don't need to breastfeed your baby because that's old-fashioned." So those two things that he led me into subjected me to breast cancer, cervical cancer, depression. I ended up with the first divorce in our family as a post-abortive woman who really at the time didn't even know what had gone on. He says, "You don't have to tell your mother about this. Your daddy's already dead. You don't have to go to your church and your pastor, who happened to be my granddaddy. Just go over to this little place and they'll help you." And that organization had given my uncle an award in 1966 saying, "We want to help you plan your family." Now, they didn't tell us they were going to do that with poison birth control and abortions. But I was going to that clinic, and as I was going to that clinic in 1973, after my abortion and after my divorce, I went to the clinic and I said, "I think I'm pregnant." And they said, "Well, there's a new law called Roe versus Wade that has passed. And so now we can help you with your little problem. We'll remove that blob of tissue and it won't hurt worse than getting a tooth pulled." Now guess what? That little procedure was called legalized abortion in 1973. It hurt a lot worse than getting a tooth pulled. And that was my second child. Now the story gets a little better, so don't look sad. Because I tell you, I had a pro-life granddaddy named Martin Luther King Sr. And it turns out that when my mom and dad had conceived me, Mama wanted to finish college, and she even wanted abortion 58 years ago. And he had already told her, although this was a family secret, "No, you can't abort that baby. She's a little girl. I saw her in a vision 3 years ago. A little bright-skinned, red-headed baby girl." Now that was no ultrasound, friends, but he did have a dream. It is in our genes. That runs in the family of the Kings. So this same man, after 1963, when I was subjected to the painful abortions, to problems in my breast and cervix, I had cervical surgery and all of that, and everybody said, what's wrong with her? She's not the same person. But I conceived again. And I said to the baby's daddy, any African-American men out there, if you're an African-American man, would you raise your hand, please? High, raise them high. Guess what the African-American man told me? Because I asked him for the money to get an abortion. You can let it there. He said, you're not going to kill my baby. That is my seed. That is my promise. No. So I went to Daddy King. He always gave me everything else I wanted. He had to save me after all. I thought Jesus saved me really though, folks. And I said, Granddaddy, give me the money for the abortion. He said, you're not killing my seed. That's my promise. That's a baby. And then the ultrasound, because that had come into being at that time, confirmed it. And so that's how I became a mother of 6 living children, 2 aborted and 1 miscarried in heaven. That abortion subjected me to problems in my breast, problems in my cervix, problems in my spiritual life. Because until I was able to get back to Jesus, I was a sad, sad lady. However, I did come back. And so my civil rights were affected. The baby certainly, because when you kill a baby, you are taking away that baby's civil rights. Now don't get confused. All of my babies were not my body. I've got 6 of them now. Do you see them standing here with me today? No. So this is my body. Those are their bodies. So my civil rights were also affected along with the lives, because my life was deeply damaged. My liberty was affected. And my pursuit of happiness by abortion was affected. And without Jesus Christ, who we have worshiped so well today here, it would not have been restored. So abortion hurts women. It affects our civil rights. Thank you very much.